Hello Hobart, thank you so much for leaving your safe cave and your warmth and coming out in this cool evening to come and see us. Thank you so much. My name is Elleke and I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Tasmania. I still am. And I'm going to discuss a sensitive topic tonight, so I'll ease you into it. I'll start with a little introduction about myself and a disclaimer that no animals have been heard making my presentation. Okay, so originally I'm from the Netherlands and I am a pretty cliché example of a Dutch woman. So I love my tulips, I love the windmills, and I do have blue eyes. And my story, how I ended up here in Australia, could also be cliché, like Dutch backpacker's girl meets crocodile hunter. No, it wasn't like that. I just fell in love with the country and I couldn't wait to leave the concrete jungle behind and enjoy Australian's lifestyle and everything that came with it. So I ended up in WA. Beautiful. Every day I would open the curtains. That was a beautiful blue skies. On Monday, Tuesday, even Wednesday. Another sunny day in WA. My goodness, it's so boring. So I googled, where can I find shit weather in Australia? And boom, Tasmania came up. Didn't know anything about Australia of Tasmania, never been. So I googled a little bit further. Got excited, saw nature, I saw wildlife. I saw severe weather warnings and I was, this is it, I am moving to Tasmania. But anyway, before I go any further, I do have to apologize that I don't come with subtitles. And I know that lots of you will not understand a word of what I'm saying, like even Google Translate can't make it up, as you can see, because this actually said subtitles, but yeah, got no clue what I said, so. And actually, after 18 years, I've been here for almost 18 years, every conversation said, I can hear an accent where you're from. So I started thinking, what can I do to change that around and have a different sort of a conversation? And I figured that I had three options. First, I could go back to the Netherlands, but I really didn't want to do that. The second one, and that's my family favorite one, just to never talk again. And I like the third one, I choose this one, working with dead bodies. Easy. And then, when I arrived in Tasmania, I figured out that Tasmania actually has a really dark side to it. Do you know that there are, in Tasmania on average, 500,000 dead bodies unaccounted for? Yeah, I can see your faces saying, oh fuck, she actually is a comedian and she is not a researcher, because 500,000 is actually the whole population of Tasmania. But hang on, I've got a point, stay with me. I know it sounds like a murder mystery, and here's my opportunity to teach you all a Dutch word, Cluedo. I know, you say it different, but we say Cluedo, so we stick with that. And with Cluedo, we've got a murder scene. In my case, that's the entire state of Tasmania. In Cluedo, we've got a murder weapon. Could be the candlestick. In my case, it's a car. In Cluedo, we've got suspects. And I'm a little bit worried to reveal the next picture because it's not my choice, it doesn't reflect my thoughts. But this is what the image maker came up with, the average Tasmanian, because this is, in my story, the suspect. Unfortunately, with every murder mystery, there is a victim. Are you ready? Oh, So yeah, I'm not talking about human bodies, I am actually talking about roadkill. I know, as I said, it's not your usual topic, but it is something that I really think we need to address more. So buckle up, because we're here to solve this mystery together. But let me pause for a moment. When I say 500,000, that actually is the same as 500,000 minutes in a year. And that actually comes down to an average of 1 animal per minute. So to be the joy of this party, for this hour that we're sitting here outside, 60 animals are actually being injured or killed. And when people say, oh, it's just a petamelon, I need to say this, every petamelon has a personality. 500,000 and roadkill, it takes away that we're talking about little individuals with all the little quirky things, their own unique personalities. The 500,000 do not necessarily include these guys, because somehow they are really clever. They can sit, I always want, sitting on a branch, watching their friends, and then a car comes and it goes, car, car. So these guys are excluded. Unfortunately, all these dead bodies are being dealt with as if it's a kangaroo court. They're just hopping around in court and nothing is really being done about it. It's not being taken seriously enough. And no offense to anyone in this room, but if I ask very often a local person what they see wrong with this picture, they go, yeah, what? Because they consider this as just a normal part of Tasmanian landscape. Same when I just arrived in Tasmania and I asked, where can I see the wildlife? The answer was, oh, just take the glass bottom bus tour. Unfortunately, this conversation has been going on for almost 50 years. So from the early 70s, the first conversation started about roadkill and how it impacted. And despite all the mitigation efforts, nothing really seems to be changing over all this time. Oh, yeah, that's history. And as I said, if I look around in this room, I think I find it hard to believe that there's anyone in this room that is driving on the roads that hasn't hit an animal, including myself. And it is a devastating, emotional experience for many things. So I thought there has to be another way. We have to be able to find a solution. And respecting you, because you're all from here, I heard from earlier, you all love the opinion of a foreigner. So I thought I'd bring in the opinions of way more foreigners and see if they can solve a Tasmanian issue, including mainlanders, that was. So because I'm not an ecologist and I am not a road engineer, I am an animal lover and I did a degree in tourism. So for me, I happen to know that tourists can actually make a really significant positive change to a destination. Oh, and talking about going on destinations and tourists, and a little bit about my language issues that I encounter on a daily basis, I went to this roadkill conference in Sydney, and before I even could enter the plane, I was stopped by this air hostess. And she was like, hang on, you can't take this luggage. And I'm like, what? What you mean? Because I was sure that I could take 2 pieces of carry-on. Anyway, back to the tourists. They get all hyped up. They see those glossy brochures and they think, oh, the wildlife and nature. And they've got this expectation. But then, this is the experience. This is what it really is. So my tourism research project was born, and I called it Bloody Tourism. And as I said, there is a lot of evidence that tourists can bring in change, and sometimes it comes with their feelings of for the destination, but I also bring in the almighty tourism dollar. So although it's said to put a monetary value on an animal, it is what it is, and sometimes if that's what it takes. So I did a survey, and in my survey I asked them, how would you feel if you, oh no, hang on, that's not what I asked. I asked, how do you feel when you experience roadkill? And instead of the other picture that I would show a local that go, yeah, what? They go, what? And unfortunately, 97% of the people, the tourists that I interviewed, have been confronted with roadkill. And these experiences, they felt emotions like sadness, anger, and disgust. Not really what you want to feel when you're on a holiday. And I can imagine it's not what a tourist destination wants to be associated with. And they actually told me that I wanted to be told up front before they came here. Many participants also told me that you guys, the locals, play a crucial role in educating them about roadkill. They want to talk about roadkill, and they have, according to my research, found most of the resources from the locals. So it's very important that you guys get on board to solve this mystery. I'm almost at the end of my PhD. And the only conclusion I can get to is that we have to change the collective consciousness. And that we have to understand that nature conservation, that we have to appreciate what's here now and today, and the value that animals have now and on a daily basis, and we don't have to wait till they're all gone. So we need all stakeholders involved, the local community, you guys, the tourist industry, the government, the councils, everyone. So how can we do that? We can communicate and raise awareness. We can do it through education or reconnection, because everyone needs something different. We can do it through empowerment, because some people really want to help, but they just don't know how. Or for the happy killers, maybe we need stronger laws and maybe higher insurance consequences. So, and just because I can do all this talk, but I can see you all think, yeah, that's all nice from a desk, but what are you actually doing about it? Okay, I'll give you some examples, and it's not to blow my own trumpet, I like to be just inspiring you, and pick your own thing, and by every action that you think, just know that somewhere on this island, a little bandicoot will be smiling. So, a few examples. I joined a community group all about roadkill, and we are visiting places, we're making connections with Ibis Hotel, for example, RCT, Bonnarong. We've got this men's shed that is solving the housing crisis for animals by building nesting boxes. I've done my share in media, radio interviews, writing to the editor, whatever helps. We are raising awareness, putting signs, going to community events. I've been trying to raise donations, like, as a Girl Scout on caffeine. I also thought it was a good idea to help to create a wilderness, a wildlife awareness bin sticker, and ask you all to go wild on your bin day and put a sticker on your bin and watch the wildlife movie as you go. Also, I did a sort of a Dr. Phil session with my neighbor, because he got so upset about the bandicoot, and I was like, we have to dig up your history instead of, being worried about your lawns being digged up. So I wrote him, I developed a little brochure about the benefits of having bandicoots in your backyard. And there I am on my knees reconnecting with nature. And another thing that I didn't mention, like with my Dutch cliche, Dutch people love stuff for free or cheap. And so I did a free wildlife course and I rescued a wombat for free. And I volunteered with Tasmanian Devils and that was a free experience. And I also recently released petamelons on my push blog for free. So pick your thing. Options all over. So to solve this mystery, it's not so much about who did it, but it is what we can do all together to solve it, to make a change. And as Greg Irons always says, the director of Boonwurrung, Tasmania is a wildlife park, drive like it. And I like to challenge you a little bit further, not just drive like it, act like it. So I honestly hope that you don't feel too run over after my presentation and I leave you more inspired. And if you haven't heard anything of what I said tonight, please try to remember my last take-home message. Hit the road and not the wildlife. Thank you so much.